Oh, we didn't get a thumbnail for that one.
Let's circle back and get one.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Back.
Back.
Back, 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 back.
Wait, another freaking video.
You already know what it is, man. Hey, so we got some old Larry Elder, man. How racist is Trump towards black Americans? So this is 2020, so I guess, I'm sure this video popped off because everything, was going on at that time. Mm-hmm. President Trump was in office and things were going on. So hopefully y'all like this. This is like 2 years old now, so let's jump on it.
Let's see. I'm interested to hear. Right, left.
And if y'all see me keep with my jaw, it's healing after that tooth been pulled, so it just, my tongue want to run over there. It feels squishy.
Squishy?
On my gum, squishy.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go.
Cute, right? Water's wet, sky is blue. Donald Trump is a card-carrying, bona fide racist, right?
The President of the United States is a racist. His own words leave absolutely no doubt about that. What he is saying is not racially charged. It is flat out racist.
And this, of course, makes his supporters racist, right?
But for people who look like me, other minorities, women who have been, well, let's just leave this to race. This president has said and done so many insensitive and bigoted and racist things that if you support him, people like me want to understand why you ignored so much.
I'm gonna pause on that though. Just something Don Lemon said, which is getting on my nerve from people that are on that side, and certain communities and certain groups and just people in general on that side. Now, anytime you're against anything, you're a racist bigot. And that's what I'm like, and you could be a black man. It could be a black person talking to a black person. You're a racist bigot. Just because I don't agree with you. I think that's the stupidest thing, and I'm so tired of hearing them. They putting those two together. Now, every time somebody, you're a racist and a bigot.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Because it comes from the media.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Grossly generalistic. You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
But black unemployment, historical lows.
I think the economy is doing absolutely great, and it's particularly reaching into populations that heretofore have had very bad problems in terms of jobs, unemployment, and the opportunities that come with full employment. So African American unemployment is at its lowest level. I give President Trump, and I've said this before on Squawk Box, I give President a lot of credit for moving the economy in a positive direction that's benefiting a large number of Americans.
Yeah, but he's still a racist.
The problem here is that the president has unfortunately used language in the past that we will have a lot of difficulty in erasing, even with an eraser with the words unemployment drop. Because I think some harsh and painful words are just kind of hanging out here across the country as it relates to African Americans and some other minorities.
And what about the First Step Act? That's a law that allows prisoners who believe they have unfairly long sentences to have their sentences reviewed. And since President Trump signed that act, 1,000 people have benefited. 90% have been black men. They've had their sentences reduced an average of almost 70 months.
Wow.
The Senate tonight taking bipartisan action on something substantial, overwhelmingly passing a major prison reform bill. The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders, aims to reduce repeat offending, and expands early release programs.
Did he say bipartisan?
Mr. President, thank you so much. It's almost hard for me to speak about this without being emotional. In the process of this has brought together friendships that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I'm now texting buddies with Van Jones.
And speaking of Van White Lash Jones.
How significant do you think this is? By the way, one of your partners in working on this was Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner, whose father went to prison and who fought on this as hard as that. This is history. This is history. Right now, you're witnessing history on the floor of the U.S. Senate. There's a Christmas miracle underway where, for the first time in a generation, Republicans and Democrats are arm in arm tonight saying, we are sending too many people to prison. They're coming out bitter and not better. We want to make a tremendous difference. I want to say Hakeem Jeffries on the left, Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump on the right have brought together a coalition like I've never seen.
And what about Trump's Music Modernization Act? Something that, again, President Obama didn't even do.
President Donald Trump today moved the music industry into the 21st century. He signed the Music Modernization Act, legalizing the landmark copyright reform for songwriters. The goal is to ensure songwriters receive pay for the products that they produce when you're listening to them on streaming services.
Wow.
Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander championed that new law. He says the Music Modernization Act is the most important law in a generation to help make sure that our songwriters and singers all over America can keep working and making a decent living by ensuring they're paid when their songs are played.
That's awesome that that's the one he put in effect, because that really affects artists. They were not getting paid. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Me either.
Songwriters?
It is.
And artists.
And artists, okay.
Yeah,
don't give it all to okay.
Don't cheat those artists.
Don't cheat us.
Who benefits the most from this side? I'm saying as far as...
I think both.
Both?
Both, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I lean more to the artists.
Yeah.
Because I'm a performer, you know. But it helps not just the writers, but the singers, and not just black, but black, white, all country, jazz, everything. So I'm very impressed behind that.
So it's a great thing what Trump is doing today, the president?
It is. And you know what? I told everybody, please, whatever your opinion or your decision, please, let's keep it tight. Let him sign it, please.
Today.
Don't mess him up, please.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really glad about that, yeah.
And then there's President Trump's support for school choice.
The time has come to pass school choice for Americans' children.
Let's go, Trump. I never thought I would say that.
You said what?
I never thought I would say that.
What?
Let's go, Trump.
Right.
So on the campaign trail, Trump didn't talk much about K-12 policy, but when he did, he talked about school choice. And Betsy DeVos is a longtime school choice advocate.
Well, I believe that the family, that parents are the primary educator for their child or their children. And we have, to a large extent, removed a lot of that ability to direct and control by forcing way too many families to assign schools based on where they live.
Now, choice in education is something that blacks and browns want. Guess who doesn't want it? White Dems, who would never put their own kids in an urban school in a million years.
Yep.
Now, the proposal that I brought forth on education ends all private charter schools in this country.
If I'm president, Betsy DeVos's whole notion from charter schools to this are gone.
We gonna have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school.
No, my children went to public school.
But we even if it was public school, it probably was the best public school. I can't pack up and say I'm leaving Hyde Park and going to Germantown. That's our suburban area, because I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter can't afford it.
I understand.
So we want to make what we got great, whether it's charter or traditional. And really, public schools are charter in where I come from, and we make parents know that charter schools are public schools too.
So let me just say, I appreciate nothing more than how much you care about your children and your grandchildren and getting them educated, and that's all I want to do. If I don't have the pieces right, then I'll go back and read it.
Go back and read it,
I'll
please.
Go back and read it.
And I promise you, the next time you see me, if it's reading the way it's going to benefit our children.
I'm not making promises. I'll go back and read it.
Go read it. Well, just read it.
That's it.
But it turns out that Senator Warren had a son in private school from the 5th grade on. Move on.
Right.
What about illegal immigration? And what does that have to do with blacks?
Now we must implement an immigration system that will allow our citizens to prosper for generations to come. Today we are presenting a clear contrast. Democrats are proposing open borders, lower wages, and frankly, lawless chaos. We are proposing an immigration plan that puts the jobs, wages, and safety of American workers first.
A steady stream of people showing up at the building behind me. We're told 150 applicants in the first 3 hours of this job fair with about 30 minutes left to go. Cook Foods has not said how many people they're looking to hire, but the folks that we spoke with said they're definitely ready to go to work. Cook is just one of several chicken processing companies to get raided by ICE agents last week, with 680 workers detained for possible immigration violations.
Peter Kirsanow is a friend I've known some 40 years. He's a longtime member of the U.S. Civil Rights Commission.
Professor Briggs testified before the Civil Rights Commission. We had a whole host of people testifying before the Civil Rights Commission. The one cohort, the one demographic in the United States of America most harmed, most palpably harmed by illegal immigration are black Americans. And politicians, open borders politicians know this. They know this because there have been numerous hearings before Congress on this. I've testified in a number of these hearings. George Borjas has testified in a number of these hearings. Stephen Camarada has testified, and we've presented all of this evidence, all of this data, that the pernicious effect of illegal immigration, of open borders, has had on black Americans in terms of employment. Nearly 1 million fewer blacks work today because of the competition from illegal immigration than otherwise would be the case if we had a secure border. And it also depresses wage rates by a tune of $1,800 a year. George Borjas estimates that the depressive effects of illegal immigration on wages is anywhere from $99 billion to $118 billion annually, cumulatively, but it has the most significant effect on the black community.
And did I mention Trump's expansion of so-called enterprise zones that will benefit the inner city?
It's a big day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order launching a new White House opportunity. This is a very big thing that Tim and I and everybody have been working on for a long time. And Revitalization Council. This council will coordinate efforts across the entire federal government to deliver jobs, investment, and growth to the communities that need it the most.
Wow. And then there's the commutation of the sentence of Alice Johnson.
Wow.
See, I mean, if you're not really supporting a person, you don't know all the things that they're putting in place because you really don't care.
Because you're biased.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all you care about is when you hear the negative input, oh, that just gives you more fuel to side and say why this person, you didn't want to vote for this person in the very beginning.
Exactly.
But as you really get the facts and do your own research, you know, once again, you got to do your own research and dig. Then you get the information like, oh, wow.
Plus, when you're biased, trust me, because I was biased too. In 2020, I was biased.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even going to listen to Fox News to see it because you know Fox News is going to be more conservative, and then they're going to speak positive and show the positive effects. And when you're biased, you only want to see the negative stuff, so you keep saying that's why this dude is a racist bigot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Given a long sentence for a non-violent drug offense, and the pardoning of Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion who was busted for a crime involving the transportation of a woman across state lines for purposes of sex. It was a BS charge just designed to nail him, and President Trump once again did something Obama did not do, and that is to pardon Jack Johnson.
Did Obama pardon anybody?
I don't know.
I know Trump did. President Trump did, but did Obama pardon anybody?
I don't know. I want to say he did.
I don't think he did. Let me see.
For some reason, I feel like it was a couple of guys.
I don't want to cut my phone.
Okay.
That thing start ringing. But
I'll check while we're just going. It's almost at the end.
Gets a second chance at freedom after President Trump commutes her life sentence. Alice Marie Johnson served 21 years for a nonviolent first-time drug charge, but a serious charge of drug trafficking and money laundering. Her story caught the eye of Kim Kardashian West, who made a personal plea for the release to President Trump last week. Johnson shared an emotional reunion with her family after walking out of an Alabama prison yesterday.
They are the folks who had been lobbying for this pardon for years now. Johnson was the first African-American heavyweight champ. And in what was seen by many as a racial injustice, Johnson was convicted of a crime back in 1913. That crime was transporting a white woman across state lines. He died in 1946. Senator John McCain, former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid had also been pushing Johnson's case for years. But again, President Trump has posthumously pardoned Jack Johnson.
And did I mention that Trump has upped spending on historically black colleges and universities by 14%?
Education has the power to uplift. It has the power to transform, and perhaps most important, education has the power to create greater equality and justice in our lives. That's why today I'm thrilled to be signing an executive order to recognize the importance of historically black college and universities. Very important.
Obama definitely didn't do that. Wow, that's crazy. Did he
Well, it says list of people granted executive clemency by Barack Obama.
Okay.
I'm going to say remission of fine restitution. The acts of clemency, 1,715 were computations and 212 were pardons. I don't know what commutations are, including 504 life sentences and 212 were pardons. Most individuals granted executive clemency by Obama have been convicted on drug charges and have received lengthy and sometimes mandatory sentences at the height of the war on drugs. Obama holds the record for the largest single-day use of the clemency power, granting 330 commutations on January 19, 2017, his last full day in office.
Oh, so he let out a bunch of people too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was gonna say I thought I heard him.
Okay. So everybody freed people. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Not from a standpoint, from a prejudice standpoint, the people that got to go home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the people that got home.
Such an important role in achieving progress for African Americans and in our nation's march for justice. HBCUs have been really pillars of the African American community for more than 150 years. Amazing job. And a grand and enduring symbol of America at its absolute best. And I congratulate you all to say that.
Finally, a word or two about President Trump's support for law enforcement. Now, what does that have to do with black and brown people living in the inner city? Well, consider the Ferguson effect. That is what happens when officers are falsely accused of racism, as happened after Ferguson. Cops pulled back and crime went up. And guess who got disproportionately hurt by that crime? Black and brown people.
Well, the Ferguson effect is the twin phenomenon of officers backing off of proactive policing and the resulting increase in crime. Last year, we had the largest one-year increase in homicide in nearly a half century. The vast majority of the victims of that homicide increase have been black. The reason for this crime increase, I believe, is that officers are living today under a false and dangerous narrative that says that they are shot through with systemic racism, that we're living through an epidemic of racially biased police shootings, and that the type of proactive policing that I think is responsible for a 20-year crime decline that this nation has enjoyed is under attack as racially oppressive.
Bottom line, whether you're talking about the First Step Act, the Music Modernization Act, the tremendous economy that's benefiting black people, the fact that Donald Trump is doing something about illegal immigration, the fact that Donald Trump supports school choice, this man has got to be the worst racist ever.
I think white people that like black people, y'all should get some sort of wristband, a hand stamp, or something. I'm dead serious. Something you can show in a dark alley to keep you from getting robbed. You know, you might not think that's a good idea, but you wish you had a wristband. You leave tonight and you're in that dark alley. Give me your money, white boy. Go ahead. Let her through. She got the wristband. Let her through, Chucky.
So, where's Donald Trump's wristband?
Oh my God. Now that's funny.
I'm Larry Elder, and this has been The Larry Elder Show.
Wow.
I'll see you next time.
Okay. Well, I just learned lots of new things. I just learned lots of new things.
I do it. A lot of stuff I didn't know. So I'm gonna tell you something. Some stuff I heard, but I didn't look into it because I was like, man, I ain't listening to Donald Trump then.
Right.
A lot of stuff I heard. Just now I see there was, this is strong factual stuff that happened.
I mean, I guess too, when I would watch certain things in the news, it didn't seem like he sounded like he had it together.
Yeah.
And then listening to the tweeter things and all that stuff on Twitter and how he was posting stuff, I felt like it was still a little where it put us at security at risk.
The problem was we were listening to sources that wanted to continue to paint the narrative, and we were only looking at those sources. So, all right, now our feelings and emotions tied up in those sources, and we're not looking over here to anything else but that. So anything he did started seeming ridiculous just because we were focused on those Don Lemon sources.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is some great information. I'm definitely going to look further into the Choice Act because that's really good. Parents, I know it used to be it used to be where based off of if the school was low performing, a parent had the opportunity to put their kid in outside of their zone because this school was a low performing school, so they had an option. So I don't know what difference the Choice Act is and how it allows. So I'm curious to see, read up about that. So that's really good.
That's good.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right, man. That was dope, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't take a nosedive, but comment in the section below, man, if you want some more. We appreciate y'all.
On the next video. Love you guys.
We'll see y'all. Let's get the thummy.
Okay. I need to see what I look like. I don't know, honestly. I can't tell how my mouth is formed, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to like it or not. I look like I ain't got no teeth, and that's not going to be the look.